Hello again, everyone. Welcome back and welcome to Corona isolation time. Hey, look, you're probably going to be stuck in your house. You get no bars open, no anything to do. So why not watch my reviews? There's like 800 over 800 of them on YouTube. So get to know me. Now, today we are reviewing the new cigar from Punch. The Chop Suey, a 7x37 Panatella. And did you notice this? We have a 1-inch shaggy foot, like the wrapper just stops right here. There's your, density. Okay. How could it feel very heavy in the hand? It's basically a pencil. I mean, you could just start writing with it. This comes on the heels of last year's version, the Punch Egg Roll. So the blend for this cigar is an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper over Nicaraguan binder and a combination of Nicaraguan and Dominican fillers, made in the General Cigar Dominicana factory. $5.49 per cigar is what it's suggested at. 3,650 bundles were produced, and it's kind of cool. The presentation is kind of cool. Here's what the boxes look like that they come in. So, all in all, that's about all you can say about it. The new cigar from Punch, Chop Suey. So let's get right to it. The new Punch, Chop Suey. I'm going to try to take off as little as possible, of course. Sort of a squarish looking cap. It's not exactly square. All right, that'll work. Now, I'll try to note that it doesn't last too long. I mean, this is not a long time-wise cigar, but I'll try to do it in thirds. I'll even try to tell you any differences between the shaggy foot and the rest of the cigar, but we'll see. Although Panatella is going to move along at a brisk pace, but initially, here we are in the unfinished section, which is already about to burn up. But it's a very nice, tangy, citrusy cedar. Quite a bit of sweet tanginess to the citrus part. Quite a bit of cedar. Quite a bit of brown sugar, and it is really a lot of brown sugar. So anytime you have brown sugar and citrus sweetness combining, it's very nice. Quite a bit of cinnamon, and an average amount, maybe even below, of black coffee. So those are your flavors. So it's very sweet. Has minor amounts of low-level flavors. Darker flavors, we'll call it, but that's how we start. Well, here we are at the first third, and as soon as it got to the wrapper, the flavor did change. It got sort of a leathery, somewhat nutmegish, but leathery, worn leather, and it took away the citrus. You still have the cedar, And the cinnamon stayed really elevated, and you got cedar and cinnamon and leather. The black pepper, which I did not even speak about earlier, is around 7.5, so it's pretty good. The lingering black pepper is really good, and it's a coarse black pepper. It just feels the texture, just taste or feels coarse. It's sort of a lightly leathery brown sugar. Nice lingering black pepper. Medium bodied, could tick up a little bit, but it's really tasty. There's and the black coffee also went up when the wrapper came in. So you've got a little worn leather and black coffee is what it's contributed as far as I can tell, but it took away the citrus. But flavor wise, the cigar is very tasty. And the first third did give us a pretty good burn time, but don't necessarily count on that to last. I go slow when I review them, but that was even a surprise to me. But for the first third, I was started off at 94. Very tasty, thin little cigar. So let's see what happens next. Well, I'm going to call that the end of the second third, and the main reason is about the band is the second third, but it's not quite burning evenly. And I want to get the band off before it's burnt up. It's coming off easily. And the pepper seems to have gone up. It's very close to full body. There is a smoothness in the midst of the cigar, sort of a butteriness to the cigar. Not a lot, but some. It's like a smooth, somewhat buttery caramel in the midst of the other flavors. The coffee is very elevated. It's very noticeable, but you get a lot of cedar, a lot of cinnamon, leather, some brown sugar to go in there too to give it sweetness, and that somewhat buttery caramel. There's not really any nutmeg per se, but it's quite a bit of black coffee, as I said. Finish is by and large unchanged. Still a lot of lingering black pepper. The cigar, another thing, every one I've had has been this way. It is very spongy, very soft. I mean, to the point where it's like you're afraid you're going to squish it just by holding it. Flavor wise, I would maintain the same score, but I'm going to deduct a point for being soft, as I did previously this year with another cigar. So we'll go with 93 for the second third, even though it's just as good, maybe even better. But that softness, even a small cigar, it doesn't need to be soft. But I think they all are. But that's the second third, and we'll see what the final third brings, but it's a pretty good cigar. Down to the end, so let's wrap it up. The cedar sort of went, we lost the citrus. We had plenty of cedar. Now we're losing the cedar. There is still brown sugar and that somewhat buttery caramel. The leather is very light and quite a bit of black coffee, which is not intrusive, but it's just a nice thick base. The pepper is still very good. The pepper probably went from what it started at 7.5 to probably a little over 8. It went up, and the lingering black pepper is great. The finish, I can't remember what we said it was, but now it is a little bit of brown sugar, light leather, and a lot of lingering black pepper. Very full bodied, sort of a surprise, but it's a pretty good cigar. That sponginess, though, man, I just felt like I was going to squish it just holding it. But the intensity of the flavors, the pop, decreased in the final third somewhat. Still nice and sweet and pretty good, and it lost the cedar, which I didn't like, but or greatly decreased. So I'm going to drop it to 92, including the softness. But this is a pretty good cigar. Actually, it's pretty daggone good. Overall score is 93, so it's not bad at all. And priced, well within anybody's budget. Pretty quick cigar. Will we get an hour and 14 minutes? And you probably noticed right before this segment, the back of the band. I actually had to look it up because I forgot. It's basically the lyrics to Rick Astley's song, Never Gonna Give You Up. So that's what you're looking at there on the back of the band. I'm assuming they're all different. The rest of them I didn't even look. So you can tell me if they're all different. But that's what's on the back of this band. But that'll do it. Pretty good cigar. So there you have it. The new Punch Chop Suey 93.